Hey, it's Karen Ziegler here, design thinking consultant, and I help enterprise leaders learn and apply the innovative principles of design thinking to conquer their biggest leadership challenges. Welcome back to this first episode of hashtag Karen Talks Bad UX. If you missed the introduction to Karen Talks Bad UX, I shared last week. I hope you'll take a chance to watch it. But just know that we're not here to be the hashtag that Karen, that you see on social media yelling and screaming at the manager. Actually, we are the hashtag Karen that is the superhero out to save the planet from bad UX. So let's dive in. If you are a company leader and you are in the business of booking or scheduling some type of an event for your user, whether it be your customers or your employees or perhaps even vendors, there's a lot of different applications for booking and scheduling. But if your company does that and has that service, you will want to keep watching, and perhaps you'll want to share this with someone that you know. So let me start off with my experience, and then we'll dive into some applications for UX from everyone's perspective, including mine as the customer, perhaps the employees and the leaders, and even some system talk. But a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to schedule a travel. I had waited till the last minute, like some people are prone to do. I don't always, but I was procrastinating for multiple reasons. So I hopped on my computer on Thursday. I needed a hotel in Orlando, a few hours from here, from where I live, for the next day and for 2 nights. So I hopped on to find the best deal and learned that the best deal happened to come from a company that I won't name, but I will just tell you that they really tripped up when it came to my customer service experience. Anyway, so I hopped on and I opened up the calendar to pick my dates. And granted, I understand this may have been my mistake, but how many times do customers make mistakes when doing something on your system? It's probably not a rare instance. Anyway, I hopped on, opened up the calendar. I assumed the calendar was on the day that I was booking it on, and then I could just choose the next day, Friday, which was the 24th, I believe. And, I just booked 2 days and I'd be done. Well, after everything was confirmed, I got my notification and I booked Friday a week out. And shoot, so now I got the hotel booked for the wrong date. Great. Just what I needed. So I go on the website and I look for change the dates. I could not find any way to change the dates to my reservation. The only option I had was cancel, which, I literally only made the reservation seconds before. I couldn't imagine that it was finished, but I said, well, I'm going to call their customer service and see what happens. Hopefully they can just switch the dates. I was even open to if it's going to cost more, or maybe that hotel's booked for the dates that I wanted. I was going to be given another hotel. I wasn't asking for, demanding a room on the days I needed in the hotel, because I didn't really care where I stayed. I just wanted a fairly nice hotel and I needed those 2 nights. So I was, open to any kind of changes that needed to happen. I just needed those 2 nights in a hotel in that area. So I called the customer service and was then proceeded to tell me that I had to cancel my reservation. That was the only option. They could not change the dates. And then they would hold my money, which they had charged me at the time, which was $250 for the 2 nights. And they were going to hold my money, and I would need to go back online. The customer service person couldn't take care of it for me, but I would need to go back online and book the right dates. And that my money not only would they charge me again, $250 again, my money would be refunded to me. In a couple days, it would clear and be back in my account. Wonderful. Okay, well, it's not that I needed the money, but it was a principle of the thing. You're going to charge me $500 and you're going to hold half of it that's not even belongs to you, and I have to go back and do it myself. So I'm not sure why I called you, but that's what I'll do. Thank you so much. And I confirmed all that with him, and he was like, yep, that's the way it is. You have to go back online and cancel. And I'm like, okay, if you're sure there's nothing else you can do for me, I will take care of that. And I quickly proceeded to go back online, cancel my reservation through that wonderful company, and I booked a new one. Not through them, though. I booked it through Expedia, who not only took my reservations, even though it cost me, I think, $10 more, they didn't even charge my account. I was able to book the room for free. I could pay for the room when I got to the hotel, and lo and behold, I got the dates that I needed. And in the same hotel, I believe. But anyway, that's kind of irregardless of the point. But as you can see, that wasn't a good experience. There should have been a way that, even if it was a workaround on the employee's behalf, that they could have taken care of me. That if I had taken the time to call in because I couldn't get my answer resolved on their website, which was an issue, that my issue was resolved. So let's talk about the customer's perspective. A couple things. One, I couldn't resolve my issue other than cancellation on the website. Called their line. Couldn't resolve my issue without cancellation, which I had to go back to the website to do. So I had to jump through several hoops only to do the only thing that was evident on the website in the first place, which was to cancel my reservation. So why is that? That is certainly something that could be improved. You know, do your employees, your customers, whomever you're booking services for, do they have the ability to change their minds? Because I don't know, maybe it's a female thing, but I tend to change my mind, or in this case, I, occasionally make a mistake. I try to double check these things, but I literally thought that the calendar opened up to the day I was on, but I must have hit the error or something because it had advanced me a week and I booked it for the wrong week. So that's the system perspective. And, but then you talk about the employee. He was very cordial, very nice, but he was following policy. So he had been given, here's how you do it. Don't, stray from that. Don't make accommodations. Don't do workarounds. Don't do anything. Send them back to the website, make them cancel, hold their money, and do that. Is that really the case? I'm not sure. But there's definitely some opportunity there for employees of his position to learn creative problem-solving skills. Because surely, obviously I'm not on the back end of that company's policies and customer service training, but surely there is a method, a way to get clients serviced and to get them happy with their reservations and, quite frankly, to keep their sales with your company. Because not only did he, upset a customer, which I wasn't, vocally upset with him, but he also lost business for his company, which is not a good thing and not something that I think any leader would have their employees do intentionally. Which brings me to the leader. So is the leader of that particular customer service employee, is he practicing creative problem solving? Is he modeling that creative problem solving for his customers? My suspicion, perhaps he could be the most creative leader in the organization, but my suspicion is that he has not applied the design thinking process with his own team. Because I can tell you, having done user experience interviews with employees, these types of customer issues happen all the time. He could be one in hundreds of that position in his organization, taking care of thousands of customers. So think about his experience as the employee. How many times has he had to tell a customer, I'm sorry, ma'am, you'll have to go back to the website, cancel the reservation and rebook it. How many times has he done that? I can guarantee you more than once in a week, probably more than once in a day. But a leader has not taken the time to get his perspective as a user to alleviate his pain points, and also in the alleviation of that employee's pain points, having to deal with the same customer issue over and over and over again, getting yelled at possibly by other Karens who aren't out to save the planet. His world is frustrating because there is no leader that is listening to him. There is no leader that is empathizing with him. There is no leader that is trying to eliminate the problems that he faces on a daily basis to make his job easier so that he can provide better service to his customers. Imagine if the leaders of this particular travel company did user experience interviews with their employees, and they began to identify problems like this, little things that could be tweaked and disappear in a heartbeat. And they took all those stacks of complaints, stacks of frustration in their employees' day, and turned it into a more pleasant working experience. Not only would their experience as an employee be increased because they would feel like they've been listened to, feel like they've been heard, feel like they've been supported in the fact that you've removed that obstacle and those problems from their plate. They'll feel empowered to give better service to their customers. They'll be proud of where they work and how creatively they serve their customers. But also think about the money. And I know that's probably the easiest thing to think about as a business leader. But they lost I don't know what percentage they make of my hotel booking, but whatever percent, they don't do it for free. Whatever percentage they make of my hotel booking, they lost because I canceled my reservation with them and I went to Expedia. So just a couple of points on how you can take a bad UX experience and learn how to improve not only your customer experience, but the experience of your customer with your system, the experience of your customer with the employee, the experience of your employee, and ultimately the experience of your leaders. Because when employees are happy and customers are happy and income is coming in, obviously that makes for a happy and content leadership position. Thanks for listening, and if you have a bad UX experience and maybe you wanted to see it highlighted here on Karen Talks Bad UX, please message it to me, or stay tuned for my next episode where I will divvy up some talk about bad UX.